Alright, about an hour from where the race is going to be at. I got up around 4:30 this morning, got my stuff together, left the house at about 5. It was a little bit of a drive. It's around 2 hours to get over to the place, where the race is going to be starting. Today I'll just be doing the 19 miler. They have up to a 100 miler for this race. Those guys started at like 2 in the morning this morning. But yeah, first trail race, so I'm not doing anything crazy today. So in another hour we'll get there, we'll get set up, figure out what the situation is, and start warming up for my first trail race. I'm pretty excited. Just arrived at the roadhouse here. Bunch of cars, I guess a bunch of people camped out here last night. I'll just get my stuff together, kind of check out the situation, use the bathroom, get my bib, and get ready to start racing.
Bye, everybody, I'll see you out there. Be good to each other.
And off I go. First ever trail race. I was super happy to get started. Really no idea what exactly to expect, other than it would probably be pretty hard. And it was even harder than I thought it was going to be. Didn't really have a ton of strategy in my head. I just figured, I'm here for the experience. I want this to be like a solid training day, honestly, to push myself farther than I have before. So my plan was to move at a pace fast enough that it was challenging and hard the whole time, but that hopefully I would be able to keep for the duration of the race. And that didn't quite work out. I ended up walking a bit more than I would have liked, but it was still awesome. And I definitely feel, now it being a day later, that I came out of it a lot stronger. This section was really cool, really beautiful pine trees, and I've never experienced, being outside like this. It smelled like someone just cracked open a bottle of Pine Sol. It was the most intense smell of pine I have ever experienced. As a type 1 diabetic, it was going to be really important for me to keep a good handle on my blood sugar. So here's the first time that I'm checking it. You can see it was reading at 148. That's right where I want it to be, is perfect. Normally during the day I like my blood sugar to be around 100 if I'm just around the house or working, doing whatever, which is fine because I'm not doing anything really active that's going to burn that blood sugar off very quick. But since I was going to be running so much, I wanted a little bit of a buffer so that there wasn't a chance it was going to dip down too fast. I also didn't want to go too high. Anything over 200, I can start to feel it. What actually happens when you have a high blood sugar is that the excess glucose attached to the blood cells makes your blood cells larger in size, and it makes it less able to carry oxygen, less able to move through your capillaries, and it just makes every single bodily process more difficult to complete. And in the end, you just kind of feel like crap. Now here I'm just coming up on the first aid station. This marked about 5 miles into the course, so a quarter of the way through it. And I was feeling okay at this point, definitely tired. I did consider just turning around and making it a 10 miler, but I was happy that I ended up sticking out and going for the full 19.
Good job.
Thanks.
And then on the other side of it, and go over. But
Coming out of the aid station, I felt pretty good in terms of energy and just overall like how exhausted I was. I felt fine, but I have this problem where my feet, they get super tight, and when I run, it feels like the tendon running across the arch of my foot is literally just gonna like snap. So unfortunately, about a quarter mile after the aid station, I had to just pull off and start stretching for a bit to get that to loosen up before I was comfortable running again. So I spent maybe 5-7 minutes stretching. But it was worth it. It allowed me to keep going and hold a better pace throughout. Oh. Oh, that's disgusting. Not bad. To help with my cramping, I also took these salt pills with me. Each one of those pills was 1 gram of salt. So right there, that was 2 grams of salt. I'm getting pretty close to the turnaround point. Not sure exactly where I was at, but this is roughly 7 or 8 miles in, and the turnaround was going to be at like 9.5 miles. So that once I turn back around, have a total of 19 miles total. I think on camera, I do the best job I can to hide it, but I was in quite a lot of pain at this point. That's pretty. Just my feet are killing me, thighs are starting to cramp, you know, really getting exhausted. And one of the harder things about this whole race is that it all takes place above 10,000 feet of elevation. And if you've been above 10,000 feet, you know that's kind of the marker for when it seems like the air just really starts to get thin. Now that I've been able to pretty fully showcase how much of a terrible long distance runner I am, one of the things I did this week leading up to the race is I actually wanted to max out my lifts so I could see kind of a sort of base stat line for where I'm at. So I want to show you the lifts I hit this week. First up is bench press. So I got 315 on the bar, and I'm able to rep this out here for 5 reps. Next we got deadlift. That's 585 on the bar, and I get this one for 3 reps. And last but not least, of course, squat. 455 on the bar here, and I get this one for 3 reps as well. I recognize I was definitely one of the slower runners during this race, but I am pretty dang confident there's not a single other person there that's squatting 455 for reps. So that's just what I tell myself to help me feel a little bit better. Ooh, I've just got stabbing pain in my feet. Jeez. Break time. Feet are killing me. Definitely not used to these miles, so just gonna pull off for a quick break.
Later.
Yeah, my feet still hurt. But here we go. Aid station coming up. It's 5 miles left. While grabbing some food at this aid station, I realized I no longer had my key in the pocket that I thought it was in. So it was lost somewhere along the trail. Thankfully, I have an amazing wife that drove 4 hours round trip to bail me out, and I was able to get a spare from her and drive home. This is the home stretch here. It was 1 mile all downhill to finish it out. I had to fight for my life to actually run this thing out. I definitely wanted to just walk, but happy I was able to finish pretty strong and get through the end here.
Good job.
Yeah, I just finished like 2 minutes ago. Yep, it was way harder than I thought it was going to be. It was so hard. I thought it was going to be hard, but like, I was dying. I walked a lot of it. Yeah, I walked a bunch, but it was tough. Just not used to that distance. Yeah, I'm glad I did it. It was fun, and it's really pretty out here. I have some bad news. On the last aid station, I was throwing some garbage away, and I realized the pocket of it, well, no, the keys were in the same pocket, but then when I threw the garbage away, I realized my keys weren't in that pocket anymore. They fell out somewhere on the trail. So can you come get me and bring me a spare? It turns out the stonework that was done on this building in 1891 was actually done by stonemasons who came in from Como, Italy, which is why this city is called Como, because of those craftsmen who came over to do the work on this roadhouse. Pretty amazing building. A lot of cool stuff to see here. I've never seen a porta potty like this. What the crap? She's finally here. Renee. Hey, you came for the ride. Hey, puppy. Alright, we did it. First trail race ever done. Pretty happy with everything. Honestly, it was a super fun experience. It was way harder than I thought it was going to be. I mean, that was just tough. I did a lot more walking than I wanted to, and I got passed by numerous middle-aged moms, which was very humbling. But I guarantee not a single one of those moms can bench 315. So, what's really important, you know? Anyway, all in all, super fun time. Glad I did it. And we'll be signing up for another one sometime soon.